I was 22 when this happened, and honestly, I've never told this whole story to anyone from start to finish because it's kind of embarrassing on my end. But here it is. I had a girlfriend, let's call her Emma. We'd been together a year and a half, and everything seemed fine. We just moved in together right around when this started. Small two-bedroom place, pretty normal life. I also had a best friend. I'll call him Sam. We'd been friends since elementary school, like actually the guy who's been there through everything. He was also the one I introduced to Emma when we started dating, because I wanted the two best people in my life to know each other. The first signs something was off actually started with really small stuff. Emma started being on her phone more, which on its own wasn't weird, but she'd always flip the screen face down whenever I walked into the room. At first, I figured whatever, maybe she's buying me a birthday present or something. Didn't think too hard about it. But then more things started piling up. Sam started bailing on our plans last minute, always with some excuse. I've got a cold. Work ran late, stuff like that. And around the same time, Emma started going to the gym more in the evenings, even though she'd never worked out consistently before in her life. I didn't connect those two things at the time. Why would I? They were my two closest people in the entire world. Then one night, when Emma was supposedly at the gym, I was home alone and her phone buzzed on the coffee table. She'd forgotten it at home. I'm not the type of person who checks someone else's phone, never have been, but for some reason this time, I looked at the notification. And it was from Sam. The message showed on the lock screen without me even having to unlock the whole phone. Same time tomorrow, don't be late this time. My heart started pounding pretty hard. I tried to calm myself down, told myself maybe it's something innocent, maybe they're planning a surprise for me or something. My brain came up with the most ridiculous explanations because I didn't want to believe what was obviously staring at me. But that heart emoji stuck in my head the entire night. When Emma got home about an hour later, I didn't say anything. I acted totally normal, asked how the gym was, and she answered casually, "Yeah, good, kinda tired." No sign of sweat, no gym clothes, and actually she smelled exactly like the same perfume she'd put on before leaving. Nobody smells like perfume after a workout. That night I didn't sleep much. I lay there next to her running through every small thing that had happened over the past couple months. The time Sam forgot his phone at our place and Emma drove it back to him. Alone. The time they were both suddenly busy the same weekend. All the pieces started clicking into place and the feeling in my stomach was awful. I decided I needed to know for sure before I did anything. I didn't want to accuse anyone without proof because if I was wrong, it would have destroyed all the trust for nothing. So I figured, same time tomorrow, probably meant roughly the same time as tonight, somewhere between 6 and 7 in the evening. The next day I told work I had a doctor's appointment, left early, and drove home. Emma had already left for the gym. I parked a little way down the street from our place and waited. At 6:30, I saw Sam's car turn onto the road. Sam didn't drive to our place. He drove past, turned at the next corner, and pulled up in front of an apartment building a couple blocks away. I recognized that building. That's where a mutual friend of ours, Rachel, lived, and she'd been abroad all summer studying. I parked further off and walked over on foot, heart racing. And there, in the courtyard of that building, I saw them. Emma and Sam. Hugging each other in a way that was not a friend hug. Then they walked inside together, and Sam had a key to the door, like he actually lived there or had been going there regularly. I stood on that street for probably 5 minutes, completely frozen. I couldn't even decide what to do. Part of me wanted to storm in and blow the whole thing up right there, but another part, the more rational part, realized I needed more proof before I did anything I couldn't take back. So I did something I never imagined myself doing. I stayed and waited. I sat in my car for almost 2 hours watching that entrance. I wrote down the times they went in. When Sam finally came out, it was already 9. Emma came out about 10 minutes later, alone, and walked straight to the bus stop, heading toward our place. I got home before her. When Emma walked through the door, I asked her calmly, "How was the gym?" She looked me right in the eyes, completely relaxed, and said, "Good, really tough session today." She lied straight to my face without even the slightest hesitation. And in that moment, I realized I needed to plan this out properly, because if I blew up right now, The two of them would just get their story straight together, and I'd end up looking like the fool who never actually got the truth. I decided I needed both of them in the same room, at the same time, without either of them having time to coordinate a lie beforehand. Sam's birthday was coming up in a couple weeks. A small get-together at his place, maybe 10 people. I figured that was the perfect setting. Public enough that neither of them could go completely off the rails, but personal enough that it would clearly land on both of them. While I waited, I gathered more evidence. I found a receipt Emma had left in her back pocket, a cafe where I'd once seen them accidentally run into each other a couple months earlier. The receipt showed 2 coffees and 2 croissants, ordered at the exact time Emma had claimed to be at the dentist. I also grabbed a screenshot of Rachel's building and the timestamp from Google Maps location history, because I'd been dumb enough, or maybe smart enough, depending how you look at it, to leave location sharing on the whole time. Birthday night arrived. I acted completely normal all night, had a beer, laughed at jokes, gave Sam his gift like nothing had happened. Emma was there too, obviously, sitting a little ways off from us, looking relaxed. Then, once everyone had eaten cake and the mood had loosened up, I stood up and said I had something to say in honor of Sam's birthday. Everyone looked at me, expecting some warm speech about my best friend. I took my phone out of my pocket. "I want to thank Sam for everything he's done in my life," I started, and the room smiled warmly. "He's been my best friend for over 10 years, and recently he's apparently taken on a whole new role in my life. He started working out with my girlfriend. Twice a week. At Rachel's place." The room went completely silent. I watched Emma's face go white and Sam's eyes drop to the floor. "Weird thing, though," I continued, keeping my voice steady even though I was shaking inside. "Because I was standing on that street watching you two walk in hand and come out 2 hours later. And it's also weird about that receipt from the cafe. 2 coffees and 2 croissants. On the exact same day Emma claimed she was at the dentist." I didn't yell. I didn't cry, not in that moment anyway. I just set my phone on the table, the screenshot of the building and the timestamp visible for anyone who wanted to look, and said, "Happy birthday, Sam. Hope she was worth it." Then I walked out. I didn't stay to watch their reaction, didn't want to give them the satisfaction of seeing my own pain in front of them. I moved out of our shared place that following weekend. Emma tried calling me probably 30 times, sent long messages full of explanations, but I never answered a single one. I haven't spoken to Sam since that night, and it was the end of a 10-year friendship in a single evening. I heard later through mutual friends that Emma and Sam actually tried to make it work as a couple after everything came out, but it only lasted a couple months before they broke up too, probably because the whole foundation of trust was already rotten from the start. I don't know if the way I exposed it was cruel. Maybe I should have talked to them separately first. But somehow, when I think back to that moment, the faces around that table, I don't regret it. Sometimes the truth needs witnesses.